Now, I want to talk about Gunther. You can't win forever, right? You got to lose at some point. Losses can be handled in a way where it doesn't hurt the man or woman who lost. There's a way to do that. Sami, it's more about who got the win. Sami Zayn beating Gunther at WrestleMania, having to hit the top rope brainbuster, finally being the man to end a 666-day reign. It was a big deal. And like I said, there's been connective tissue to that. Sami beats Gunther. Nobody could beat Gunther. Then Braun Breaker beats Sami. And as I have said, there is a story because Braun Breaker beat Gunther at NXT, but we don't talk about that. And then Jay beat Braun, and then Braun beat Jay back, and blah, 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 blah. But that was a big deal. And they iced Gunther for a little bit. He comes back and wins King of the Ring. He beats Priest for the world title. He beats Randy Orton. He beats Sami Zayn. And then we run into an obstacle. We run into Crown Jewel. Talked about it plenty. Hated that Cody and Gunther were facing off for the first time with stakes that don't matter. And shock, shock, shock. We haven't heard about those titles because they don't matter. So you beat Gunther for the second time ever. For the first time in his reign. He's been champion for 3 months? And you've already beaten him. So you beat him for Crown Jewel, sports washing, whatever. Let's take fancy pictures with Cody Rhodes and Liv Morgan, and let's never talk about those titles again until next year. All right, fine. But then they have pushed this narrative that it's shaken Gunther's confidence. And, Priest's first promo was, as I said, very 8 Mile B-Rabbit. Let me tell you all the things you're going to say about me, and I'll flip it on you. I thought Priest came across so much better in that segment than anything that happened in their lead up to SummerSlam. And I know a lot of people right now are completely on board with main event Priest. They like his presentation. They like how he acts. And some people liked what happened on Monday. I did not. You have Gunther and Kaiser have this backstage thing where Gunther's kind of telling Kaiser, hey, you got to stop speaking for me. I'm not mad at you, but you got to go do your own thing. I got Priest handled. Don't you worry about that. But then at the end, he looks for this confirmation. He looks for this vote of confidence from Kaiser of does that remind you of the old ring general? Yeah, sure. Okay. And Kaiser walks away, and we know what he ends up doing, wrecking the IC title match. And then Gunther, with a noticeable lack of, and I hate using aura because it gets overused, but lack of Gunther, takes off, like they pan over, you see Priest, he takes off the jacket, he walks right up to him, he puts him in a choke. Priest gets out of it, he kicks him once, and Gunther is down. And he's just down in the ball, and Priest sits there, and he looks like a badass. I don't have a problem with that. Oh, Nerdy Dude said he could translate what Gunther said to Kaiser. Please do. I assume what he said in English, he also said in German. It's German, right? Yeah, obviously, you know it. And I don't have a problem with Damian Priest looking like a badass. And I saw people saying that he did look that way. No problem. No problem laying out a heel. My problem is they having Gunther writhe on the ground like that with Priest just sitting over him. That ain't Gunther. He's a big, giant, menacing dude who doesn't lose and is dominant. You want to have him beg off? You want to have Priest get the upper hand and Gunther bail? Go ahead. But to have him just kind of writhing on the ground after not really having much happen to him, and Priest make a point to say, oh, you might be, the ring general, but in the streets, so Gunther just loses his fighting ability if he's not in the ring? Come on. You tell me. For the second time they're doing this match, for the build so far, are you into it? Comment below. Hit me up in the live chat if you're a Matt member. Are you, does what they're doing with Priest and Gunther, specifically this past Monday, the goal should always be, are we taking you another step forward towards this match at the pay-per-view, towards this world title match, towards this world title rematch? Did they go in the right direction on Monday? Do you want to see that match more? Did they convince you that Priest can beat Gunther? Because to me, the idea of Priest getting in Gunther's head and Gunther not being on his game, I wouldn't want to beat him I wouldn't want that to be the reason he loses. I want him to get beat. If you're going to beat him, beat him. Don't build in, well, he was off his game and he wasn't as confident. What happened to That's not who Gunther is. And look, if he's going to win, it's still it's a moot point. But I think they are certainly opening the door, and you cannot underrate how highly the company thinks of Damian Priest. And I have noticed how many more fans he's picked up, and there are people that are with him. Would I beat Gunther with Damian Priest on Survivor Series? No. Could they? Yes, absolutely. It's almost a chance to relaunch Priest. Nerdy Dude says a little bit more to it in German than in English. Kaiser's dad was a big deal in wrestling, Germany, so Gunther basically told Kaiser, make your dad proud and be yourself. And you know what? I interviewed Imperium a couple times, and I loved talking about that with Kaiser. I thought, God, I remember sitting down with, it was just those two. It was Kaiser and Gunther. I interviewed them a couple times. And Kaiser was so good talking about all that stuff, and Gunther was talking about that. And, and that's not a story that's going to be explored on television because Kaiser's a heel. But that is certainly a babyface story to talk about down the road. But I like that Gunther went there. That is not really part of Kaiser's character, is that his dad was such a big deal in Germany in terms of wrestling and all that. But I like that. I appreciate. Thank you, Nerdy Dude, for translating that. I would get Kaiser away from Gunther. Hey, this is Matt Camp. Thanks for checking out one of our recent clips from the Wrestling Mat. Why is someone so close to The Rock kind of throwing Cody under the bus?
Yeah, a lot of people won't engage with Jim Cornette. I did, just because I have a mark for Jim Cornette.
Please subscribe right now. Hit the like and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. And I think you should listen to your TV partners. Let me tell you about WWE and a little insight. More subscribers means more content. And make sure you follow us on social media at WrestlingMat23 on both Twitter and Instagram.